I'm Sonia Azad. Welcome to The Shift, a place to inspire growth, resilience, and wisdom, real connection, healthy conversation as we navigate life's changes and challenges together. Because, as I like to say, we are all each other's teachers. Thanks to BTL Industries for making this podcast possible. Hair and makeup generously provided by Glam House Collective.
Hi, I'm Sonia Azad. Welcome to The Shift. We are at Renew Beauty today, and I'm here with Heather Galliani.
Hi,
Sonia. One of my favorite cosmetic nurses, RNs. Good to see you.
Good to see you too.
So tell me, just first of all, how are you feeling today?
Feeling great.
Feeling great.
Feeling great.
Are you being honest?
No, I am. No, I really do feel good. The kids are well this week, so that's a positive.
Okay, good. We're looking at the positives.
Yes.
Well, we have some fun stuff to talk about because this series is all about aging gracefully.
Yes.
So as we come into those middle years, dare I say, things just start to move around in our body, and we want them to kind of stay in place and give that youthful appearance. Not too youthful, but part of what you do is, you administer Botox and different types of derma-fillers. So I want to start with, Botox first, because I think some people don't even know what that is. So what is it? What does it do? How do you use it?
Okay, so Botox is a neurotoxin. So basically what it does is it stops the neurotransmitter to signal the muscle to move. So that's a big, broad generalization of what it does. So basically on pesky lines, they're caused by muscle movement. So Botox helps just relax and soften the muscles so the lines soften up. It's very natural looking.
Can be. I feel like
it can be natural.
Sometimes people do a little too much, right? Like what happens when people get like the surprised all the time look?
Well, that is due to placement of the product.
Okay.
So like
So basically it's not how much is put in, it's if you put it in the wrong place, you end up with that like all the time surprised.
Right. It's knowing the anatomy of the face and different muscles. Some muscles depress, some muscles elevate. So we don't want, you've heard people have the heavy brows, and that's due to placement as well, or too much in the upper frontal or lower frontalis. The surprised or Spock look I call, which is like a dead giveaway that you've had Botox. Mm-hmm. First of all, that could be corrected. If you ever see someone with Spock, I want to tell them you could come get that corrected. Mm. So it's about placement is where I feel like it looks unnatural. Mm-hmm. It really should, if we do our jobs right, look rested, refreshed. No one would know.
Mm-hmm. Eyes are opened.
Your friends are like, oh, it looks like you had a good night's sleep, or did you do your hair different, or you look healthy. They can't quite put their finger on it because but they notice something different. Yeah. But it doesn't look done.
Yeah. So how long have you been doing this?
I have been here for 14 years.
Oh, wow.
I cannot believe it.
Okay. So in that amount of time, do you find that more people are gravitating toward things like Botox, or, is the age of people that's coming in changing? Are more men coming in? Like what's happening? Who are you seeing?
Definitely. First of all, I feel like now it's talked about. Like even when I started, it was like no one told their friends. It was no one told their friends, their family. No, they didn't want anyone to know. Now that they get it. Mm-hmm. Now I feel like with social media too. But now that people realize how natural it is, it's like coloring your hair. I feel like everyone does it now. Yes, they're starting earlier. Girls are starting in their young 20s because prevention. Mm-hmm.
And the way that I've heard that described is if you were to fold a piece of paper in half over and over and over and over, there's that crease. And so when you unfold it, the crease remains even though the piece of paper is not folded.
Right.
That's what convinced me when I was in my early 30s and I was like, oh, that does make sense. Maybe I should do something about this. So I don't know if that's like a good analogy, or because sometimes when people hear like, oh, girls in their 20s are getting this, like, I don't know, that seems ridiculous. Is it?
Well, not really. And based on certain people, and it's due to genetics. If you looked at your dad and they have these deep, deep lines or deep lines across here, it's genetic. Some girls in high school have it, and just due to their genes. And your point about the crumpled piece of paper, their paper isn't even crumpled yet. So by doing it before the lines are there at standstill, it actually is preventative, and they don't need quite as much. So they're starting before they actually see the line deep at standstill. So yes, I mean, I think in your 20s, a little bit is very natural looking and preventative.
So they don't need as much, and they probably don't need to come in as many times.
Not really.
Yeah. So like not as often as I would come in.
Well, I mean, in general, it's going to last you 4 months, but your skin still looks good, past that point.
Yeah.
When you're younger.
Now we keep going like this. So where do you put Botox? Because I think also this is the funniest thing when I talk to guys and they're like, you get Botox under here. And I'm like, no, you don't put Botox under
like,
there.
People are like, don't put that Botox in your lips. I'm like, like that's filler.
So educate us on Botox. Where do you put Botox?
The most common place that people put Botox is, number one, I think this is, if you're going to pick one place, a must, is what people call the 11s, the glabella area. Because those lines, you'll see people like have 11s or 1, they make you look like you're mad when you're not. And they are the strongest muscles. So definitely there. We keep doing here, a lot of people don't want the lines at standstill. But also what it does is, lines don't necessarily have to be bad, I don't think. But by putting some high in the frontalis, it gives like a little bit of a lift to your brows, to your face. It makes you look awake. Around the eyes for crow's feet, it opens up the eye. You could
also do it like down here for some people because they like hold tension in the chin.
And like if you look at people, sometimes it looks like they have orange peel chin or chinulite. So if you put some Botox here and here where the chin tries to pull up, it prevents that dimpling.
And then what is the deal with people doing it in the tip of their nose?
Tip of the nose, like you put it here and it prevents the tip from pointing down. It's very subtle. Also, like everyone hears like the lip flip now.
Yes.
So you put it in either side of the lip, it pulls it up millimeters. But also what it does is it prevents these like smoker lines from happening. Another popular place is the masseters, especially people muscles that grind their teeth. You can like almost see the muscle pop out. And I will tell you that's life-changing for people that do grind their teeth because they get horrible migraines from doing that.
Yeah. Well, and I've done stories, I mean, this is years ago where there were studies being done and Botox was being used under the armpits and actually in the head for children. And these are, physicians who are like, look, this prevents these migraines that you're talking about or prevents excessive sweating. So this stuff is used in many, many different ways. But for cosmetically, you're kind of focused on this part of the body.
Yes.
Okay. So that's Botox. Now, and you're injecting it. So this is a needle in the face.
Teeny tiny needle, like an insulin syringe. I mean, literally, it's basically like the size of your hair.
Okay.
So for people that are scared of needles, once they do it, they're like, that's it. It's the idea of a needle is scary, but once you do it, it's no big deal.
I think what's cool about you, and you don't even maybe realize this about yourself, is you look at someone and you know where to go. You're talking about placement, right? Like based on just looking at them. Like, how do you know that?
Well, I would say from years of studying the face, the anatomy, how the muscles work together. And then I feel like when you look at someone, you look at their eyes, their mouth, you want to show off their strong features and not have anything distracting from that. So everyone's unique and it's not a cookie cutter, like paint by numbers art here. We have to look at each individual and go from there.
I like that too, because you do see some of the people, I'll say women who like all look the same. And I'm like, I don't want to look like everybody else.
No.
So I appreciate that about you. Okay, so let's talk about filler. So derma-filler, what is that and how is it different from Botox?
So filler adds volume. And I think the worst thing people think about filler when you think volume is you think pillow face or overdone lips. But what really filler does is what causes aging, first of all, is the loss of volume, and then the volume shifts down, the fat pads shift down, you have the degradation of bones and the structural support in the face. So filler done right, again, if we do our jobs right, no one really should know, because what we're doing is by adding volume in spots that are hollow, so say here or where in your cheek where you've lost the volume and it's shifted down. So we've gone from a face that was here to kind of here and here because the volume shifts down. So by putting it back where the fat pad should be or where the hollow is, it pulls up the rest of the face. So indirectly it fixes nasolabial folds and other things. So filler adds volume.
Okay. And now where do you mentioned putting it here or here?
Yes. So like I always like to start kind of the lateral part again to like rebuild that structure of the face. So the lateral cheek, temple, if you're hollow in the temple, it's one of the biggest signs of aging. So just a little subtle filler here. Some chin shadowing, just facial balancing. So if we're gonna do the back here, the jawline's a great one to pull the face back, to add that volume back in to the places that we've lost it and it shifted to places we don't want.
I've also seen people start to put filler here in the bridge of the nose. Do you do that?
Yes, I do. The nose can be a very dangerous place to inject because the vasculature of the face. So I do the nose on the bridge here.
Okay.
To hide, the best people in my opinion are the ones that have a bump in the nose. So adding volume to the top, it makes it smoother and it makes the nose appear smaller.
So that's what they call like non-surgical
nose job.
rhinoplasty.
Yes.
That's a thing now, in case you're hearing it for the first time.
Yes.
And then, okay, now let's talk about the lips, because I feel like it's almost comical for some people, but done properly, I think it looks really nice and it can look natural. And what's really funny to me, women who are my age will totally get this, is that men are always like, what? She looks beautiful. She's so natural. I'm like, you have no idea how much work that person has done to look that way. And so, but that is a good sign. So lips, you inject top and bottom.
Yes, we want it to look natural, but you lose volume over time. So in millimeters make a difference, but I think we still want the bottom bigger than the top.
Oh, okay.
So just in beauty standards and your profile. So top and bottom. The border of the lip is nice because it gives that definition back that you can lose. So yes, a little bit to the lip. Going with your lip structure, I think is the best way to go. Also, not overdoing the lip, looking at the balance of the face. So, for where lips look bad, I feel like is they're way too big and we're only seeing lip where there's no support to the rest of the face. So done in balance with the face and the chin, the chin has to balance the lip. Lips can be beautiful. And again, like men say, look, she looks so beautiful and natural. And I'm like, she's had a little help.
She's fooling you all. So for people who've never had any of this type of work done before and might be hesitant or at least curious, like, do you suggest they come in and do you do a consultation? Like what are the first steps for people who are like, yeah, maybe, I don't know, I'm scared?
No, consultation for sure.
Okay.
That way it takes the unknown and the scary part out. And we look together. We look at, I had people point out, what do you see in the mirror? And then, it's funny, they'll pick out some random thing that I don't even notice, but we look together and we kind of come up with a plan. I show you what I see. I show you what I feel like is your strongest features and what we really want to show off. And then we go from there. We make a plan and I talk you through each step. I feel like the more you know, the better we do together because you can tell me and I can educate you on how to get there.
What do you say, for people who let's say they're watching this, they live in different parts of the country or the world, what are the questions that they should be asking someone if they are getting a consultation, or if they're like, before you stick needles in my face, what do I need to know about you?
Exactly. I would ask how long they've been doing it.
Okay.
That is number one, because I feel like the more you do it, of course, the better you're going to get. The more trainings you go to, the anatomy of the face is not something to mess with. You know, it can be more dangerous than just looking bad. You know, there's some vascular occlusions and other things that you really want to make sure your injector knows what they're doing. They know the anatomy of the face, and then also you trust them. You know, it's your face. So you want to make sure that your goals are aligned.
Okay. So that they're not suggesting stuff that makes you uncomfortable or that's just way over the top, and that they understand what you are asking for.
Yes.
Okay. And what your goals are.
Yes. Be on the same page.
Be on the same page. So ask how long they've been doing it. Make sure you trust them. Be on the same page. Yeah, I think that's, in general, you just want to make sure that you are being heard.
Right.
And supported through stuff that, you know, this is a vulnerable thing.
100%. It's your face and it's your insecurities. And, you know, but it also is such a fun thing because I feel like just like a little bit of treating yourselves gives you like the confidence, like the pep in your step. You know, when you look and feel your best, you're ready to take on whatever the day brings you.
What's the best part of what you do?
Making people feel pretty, to be honest. It's just, it's so rewarding to get, when people look in the mirror and you can see like a genuine smile and a twinkle in their eye, and you know that they, you know, no matter, everyone goes through hard times, but just, it gives them that extra oomph to feel really, really confident in their own skin.
Yeah. I think you do that.
I love doing it. It's fun too, you know, it's fun. It's getting to know people.
Girl, it must be fun on your end, because on the other end, I can tell you, I'm like, oh Lord, I hope she's in a good mood today.
I know. Don't make me mad or I hit you extra hard. No,
you'll never do that. She's very, very gentle. Well, Heather, thank you so much. I think you did educate us on the very basics. And of course, if people want to know more, they can contact you or someone else. And I think contacting you even for your recommendations on other people is a good move. So we really appreciate your time today.
Thank you.
Okay.
So good talking to you.
And thank you all for joining us for The Shift. I'm Sonia Azad. If you've got more questions for Heather, for me, you can add them to the comments section. And don't forget to hit like, share, and subscribe. We'll see you next time.
This podcast is sponsored by BTL, the makers of M-Sculpt, M-Tone, M-Cella, and beyond. For 25 years, BTL Industries has impacted the lives of hundreds of thousands of patients. A key global manufacturer of medical and aesthetic equipment, BTL operates in over 70 countries with an impressive team of 400 engineers. The leading providers of non-invasive treatments, they continue to innovate and find ways to improve the rapidly expanding medical field. And don't forget about our friends at Glam House Collective. Let's get glam.